So let's talk about your publisher, which is WhiteFire Publishing.
Yes.
And what was it like to sign your first contract for your first book and work with them?
Oh, that is so fun. It's so fun. It's still so new for me. I kind of hope that that buzzy feeling that you just asked me that question doesn't go away, like ever. Like I want to protect it because I know it will. The honeymoon phase will fade. But 9 years, I sat on the desk of a lot of publishing houses. I had some really close calls with some of the big presses. I would consider WhiteFire a mid-sized press. But I am so grateful for where I'm at. I fit so well. I love what they represent. I love what they're going for. I like working with them. I love their editing team. I love their design team for the covers. It's so easy for me to champion my publishing house. And honestly, I feel like they let me do a lot. Like they let me in there, not just to do my own projects, but to aid and assist wherever I can. And that's thus the publicist, thus the marketing, personality or whatever, and all the different things. I do their podcasts for them, do some different teaching stuff, and it's fun. It's fantastic. I'm in part of acquisitions. So they let me become part of the identity there. And I think I've thrived with that. And so to actually sign the contract, this is going to sound really funny. I signed it in April of 2020. So when COVID was just kicking off and we had no idea what it was. So it was a super good news moment. And I was thrilled, but I had a really hard time believing that it was real or that it was really going to happen until I actually got my book in hand. Like, even though I was working with the editing team and I was going back and forth and I was seeing my cover, there was a little piece of me that was like, we'll see if this, and that's from the leftover from the hope deferred season of like waiting and having it change at the last minute. This looks good, but we'll see. And so this season with actually having my book in hand has been almost the culmination.
And then this is book in hand.
Yes.
I have to get you to sign my copy here,
Yeah.
But it's The Rock.
Yes.
And Sisters of the Porcelain Doll, book 1.
Yes.
And so what was it to open that box and to see the print copy of your book for the first time? I mean, what feelings, what was the emotion,
The finish
and it's a beautiful cover here too. Absolutely beautiful cover.
Thank you. It doesn't get old. Do you see the extra glowy smile I got here? So my initial journey when it was May, I was at a women's retreat from my church. And I'm not sure what all your audience is going to think of this, but I felt encouragement from the Lord, a really personal encouragement from the Lord, that he validated the writing and he took it from a place where it was like underwater basket weaving. It didn't count for anything to a legit thing I should pursue. And the phrase that he said to me was, everybody needs to know what it feels like to finish something. That's what he whispered to my heart. And so for me, finishing was always kind of the aim, finish through that whole 9-year journey. But when I go back to that beginning, he says, everybody needs to know what it feels like to finish. And when I held that book in my hand and I could see it and feel it and have it be concrete instead of the abstract of this story that comes from your mind and it's passed around on the computer, internet, like it's so elusive until it's concrete. And to transition into that, it's actually been wave upon wave for several weeks now, probably getting close to 6 weeks of this experience. And I actually think maybe you or Kate Breslin or someone else called it a Cinderella. Your first book is your Cinderella book, because it's like your happily ever after, that for yourself, the, rags to riches moment, which is the culmination of the experience, which is true. And so I've really tried to savor it, because I kind of want to do this for a long time. So I want to feel all the feels and enjoy it so that I have that in me for fuel for other seasons that aren't so easy. And I just am thankful. I am so grateful and thankful. And like I said, I had 3 sons get married in 7 months during COVID to their sweethearts. And I have, out of my 5 children, and one of them, my daughter, she actually decided that she was going to move with her friends off campus. So she moved out of the house essentially too. So we have 4 of the 5 that have left inside of a year. And so I'm kind of mixing my book launching season with that season. And I'm starting to see the end of my hardcore parenting years. Yeah, it's hard. There's a lot of change in it, but I'm also getting these sneaking windows. Like last night, I was reading Mary Keneally's. She has a new book out, and she's one of my book comps, and I love her to pieces. In fact, we'll have to tell her we talked about her on here because she's one of the best. And she's so, it's so rich. And I'm like, I'm reading this book because it delights me and it's my choice. But oh my goodness, this is my job. This is my job to be current in the industry with this book. You know, like I just can't, like I pinch myself. This is what I wanted to do. This is what I want to do. And now it's real. I am doing it. I've been doing it for a long time, but now now everybody can see it. You know, not that everybody is the goal. You do have to be careful what your goals, incentives are, but it just feels different. I don't feel like I have to go back to all that waiting and waiting and waiting again, ever. Even though they'll be waiting in the future, it's different.
Right. Yeah. So we're very excited to hear all about your new book release. So the title is The Rock, Sisters of the Porcelain Doll, Book 1. So what is the setting?
So I like, I'm historical fiction, obviously. My preferred time frame is 1840s to 1885. These ones are set in 1846. I have 4-book deal, so we're doing 2 books this year. The second one comes out in November, and then 2 next year. And each book is one of these group of women who make a sister pact, kind of like a blood brother pact. They make a sister's pact over, and they use the porcelain doll as a part of that. And each of them puts a token in it. And the token is the title of the book as they come out. That'll be, so the first one, she puts a rock in, that's the title of the book, The Rock. And it's her story. The second one that's coming out is going to be The Ribbon. And she put a ribbon in the back of the doll. So that's sort of how that works. And so then the sisterhood is a piece of the story, but they're all total romance adventures that you like. They often running with the different high stakes fun. Like I like to high energy, high fun is my thing. And so there's a little, in this one, there's a bad guy that's elusive. It's kind of this dun 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 coming in from the corner feel. That's what I was after. And you're looking, I always like a little mystery or suspense. It would be my secret desire someday to actually write a true straight up mystery. So I don't have the chops for that yet. So I sort of try to get that tension in there, that edge in there, along with the fully satisfying chick flick feel. So.
Right. And her book is available on Amazon and also
all over the place.
All over in ebook and print.
Yeah.
And so when is your second book coming out?
November the 15th is the goal. And just so if readers are listening to this, I'm an advocate for authors in general. If you go to the publishing house page of your favorite authors and buy your books off of there, instead of off of Amazon is a 3-way split. The publishing house is a 2-way split for the income for the author. So if you're really trying to help your author out, take that extra energy to go and get it straight from their publishing house. I think that's the wave of the future, is that for supporting your author is to more and more follow that in there. So